So I managed not to hit record for the first coat of the dipping process. Basically, what I did was I had a cupcake liner here with my glitter to the side. I did a full coverage of dip base, and then I used the jar to pour it over the nail, turning my finger back and forth so that I get full coverage. Then I went and I pressed my finger against the side walls and then the free edge to get it to lay flush, and then pressed down on top of it to make sure that all the glitter pieces were lying flat. Then, taking my water marbling tool, I went along the cuticle line to make sure that I separated out any gel or powder that may have flooded the cuticles. And then I went and I laid my finger down again on top of the powder just to get more coverage in case there was any sticky gel still on top. And then I explained that since a lot of the powder is going to soak up the gel and you're not going to have a lot of instances of flooding, you can move directly onto the next nail instead of curing in between each nail. So then once both nails were done, I went and cured for a full 60 seconds and then managed to hit record, thinking that I was stopping the recording. So now that I'm actually recording again, I'm going to lay my finger into the powder to get even more coverage of glitter. You can, at this point, dust off any excess powder laying on top. I'm going to use a fluffy brush just because at this point I don't want to disturb any of the glitters. But when I go in and clean off after the second layer, I'm going to use a stiff brush to remove any pieces that may be just lying on top and not fully cured. So once again, I'm going to go in with my gel base. And now that I've got glitter on my nail, I'm going to make sure that I wipe off my brush before dipping back into the bottle so that I don't contaminate my liquids. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier this time because it has to get in between all the individual glitters and make sure that I get full coverage. Then I'm going to lay my finger into it, tap, press down, press against the side wall and the free edge, and then once again go in with my water marbling tool. And pour over a little bit more. And then move on to the next nail. Now the reason why I dip in on the second pass is because, as you can see with my ring finger, I didn't get very many large pieces of glitter. So I want to make sure that I go in and I shake the jar a little bit, and all the glitters, all the lighter pieces are going to rise to the top. And then I can go in and lay my finger and pick up more glitter. Now I'm going to do another 60-second cure. While that cures, I'm going to pour the rest of my glitter back into the jar, close it up because we're going to use builder gel to really encapsulate those glitters, and get ready to do the French manicure aspect of this manicure. Now I'm going to go in with my stiffy brush and I'm going to gently push away from the cuticle to get any excess powder off of the nail. Same thing with my ring finger. Get underneath the nail. And now we're going to go in with builder gel to encapsulate. I'm using DGel in the pump action. This is their sick level, which is, I believe, their thickest builder gel grade. There's a midline, which you can use as a builder gel or a base coat, and then their bio, which is a lot more thin, which is just for base coats. I love this jar because you can refill it, and it lasts, honestly, the last one that I bought, I think lasted 4 or 5 months. So I'm going to use my flat brush and I'm going to scoop up a good amount. And then I'm going to start at the cuticle line, or close to, not all the way at the cuticle, and just move it back and forth over the nail. Pulling it down, picking up more if I need. And just moving it back and forth up the nail. Now the reason why I prefer to do a builder gel encapsulation versus clear dip powder is because a lot of the times, or I should say, there's a chance that your clear coat can turn cloudy. I've heard, I haven't really experienced it myself because I tend not to do it, that a lot of dip powders, clear dip powders, don't work well with gel top coats. For whatever reason, there's a chemical reaction that turns the clear cloudy. So I prefer just to use builder gel or some kind of clear base coat to encapsulate, because then I can file down through the clear without hitting the glitters. Sorry, trying to concentrate and talk at the same time. I'm just using a fine liner to pull it down towards the cuticle and the free edge. And then I'm going to coach it so that the apex builds in the right spot. I don't want a heavy amount at the tip of my nail or down by the cuticles. So then I'm going to use my pen light to flash cure it, and then I'm going to move on to my ring finger. Going in with the same method, going to gently push it towards the cuticle and then bring it up the nail. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't really disconnect your brush from the gel. If you're bouncing the brush up and down and you're pulling out of the gel and going back into it, you can cause air bubbles. So you just want to, I mean, I picked up right there, but now I'm going gently in and just floating it up the nail. Then back to my fine liner. I'm going to put a little bit more on. Some pieces are poking through. So I'm just going to dab it into the center. It is really windy out. I don't know if you can hear that, but any of that whooshing noise is the wind. All right, now I'm gonna fully cure for 60 seconds. All right. I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and I'm going to cleanse the nail, because once I'm finished with doing the French tips, I'm going to go in and file and re-profile my nails, just to make sure everything is smooth and the shape that I want it to be. But I don't want to run the risk of getting anything on the top layer, so I just want to cleanse it first. Usually speaking, and I've said this before, and I'm sure you've heard it before, when you go in with gel liquids, you don't want to push your nail into, sorry, I've got glitter. You don't want to push your nail into the dip powder, because there's a chance of moving the liquid around on your finger and getting unevenness and wrinkling. But because this powder is really fluffy, I'm going to make sure to fluff it up also before I put my finger into it. If you're really gentle, you shouldn't have any problems. So I'm going to go in at an angle. The further the angle, or I should say the deeper the angle, the more pronounced the smile line. If you go straight down, you're going to get a square smile line. So I'm going to go in at like a 45-degree angle. And then tap off. I'm going to compare my two nails, make sure the nails aren't the same shape to begin with, so just going to get it the same thickness as possible. And I'm only going to do one dip before I cure, or before I finish off, because since I am pushing into the powder, it's going to be a bit thicker. I am still going to press down a little bit to make sure that the powder lies flat, and then I'm going to flash cure for 20 seconds. Next nail, same process. Okay, so I don't want to brush all over my nail because I'm gonna drag the color, and also there's a tacky layer that is cured. But I do want to take off some of the excess powder. So I'm going to tighten the bristles of my brush and just use it on the tip to lightly wipe away some of the powder. And then I'm going to go in with my Builder Gel again. We do have a ridge. We do have a ridge between the color and the clear because I didn't dip into it. It's just a flat clear coat. So I want to make sure that I build up a little bit more Builder Gel to build up that apex. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to focus the gel in that area. I'm going to pull lightly towards the tip. And then I'm going to push it down towards sorry. I'm gonna push it down towards my cuticle. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to put my finger upside down so that I can get all the gel to pool towards the apex, and then I'm going to flash cure it for 10 seconds. The rest of this now is going to be buffing, reshaping, and then base coat and top coat. I'm not going to show that on camera. I'm just going to go through it, and then I will wrap up at the end. But as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward process. I've got the profile. I've got a random piece of glitter that maybe I can file through. Okay, that happened on my other pinky finger. Glitter there, glitter there. Okay, but I'm going to lightly buff and reshape. I'm going to base coat and top coat, and then I will be back to wrap up. So that's the manicure. I did struggle with the idea of maybe emphasizing the smile line. I feel like it kind of looks like the blue is bleeding a bit, especially on this nail. There's a little unevenness, so I was going to put in maybe a silver or a white smile line accent, but I decided against it. I just wanted to finish it off. I think it looks beautiful the way it is. I don't really think it needs it. So that's the manicure. Again, these are all Vivid Glam colors, or I should say these are both Vivid Glam colors. I absolutely love Vivid Glam. They're one of my favorite companies. I'm trying not to buy so many dip colors though, because I really don't use dip as much as I do gel manicures lately. but it's a new season, new colors. I really couldn't stop myself, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm just going to finish off with some cuticle oil as always. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them down in the comment section below. If you have, all the information for the products I used will be in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again for stopping by. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available. And I will see you soon. Bye.